People who cheated on their partners and didn't break up with them.
Why?
I was incredibly selfish. I thought I could have it both ways. There's no excuse. I was only thinking of myself. I sought value in things that I now know aren't good core values. To anyone considering cheating, don't. Either leave the relationship or get help. I was 15 and an idiot. My father had left my mother with 5 kids. My mother spun into depression and couldn't hold down a job, so we lost electricity, had no hot water, and barely any food. I wanted validation at that time and got it from anyone who would give it to me, which turned out to be some loser. I was an idiot and of course got caught. My BF broke up with me, as he should have. We got back together 6 months later because he's a better human being than I am, and it's been 19 years and 2. Throwaway account. I lived in a male-dominated country where a woman might as well be the pooch to obey commands. I could not marry or date whoever I wanted, and if I went on dates, first box to be ticked, will my family accept him before I even thought if I liked him. A woman cannot marry regardless of their age, without their father's approval, and if he objects, she needs to take it to court, and the judge makes a decision. I suffered with domestic violence in my household, and ended up with WTF. Downvote someone who actually tries and answer the question. I was afraid to be alone. Absolutely hated her. Suspected she also hated me. We cheated on each other quite a bit. I ended up in the same dynamic in my next relationship, too. Constantly cheating on both sides. Could hardly stand each other after the first year, but kept going because the idea of being alone with my thoughts was terrifying. Years of therapy later, and things are a lot better. I had to stop thinking of my relationships as transactional. I see a lot of victims and no accountability in this comment section. Not surprised. Ugh, this is either going to be downvoted into the abyss or only receive one view. My story is a long and complex one, but none of the complexities will ever excuse or justify my choices. Cheating isn't a mistake. It's a choice you make. A typo is a mistake. Using salt instead of sugar because you got the containers mixed up is a mistake. Giving someone your body, your time, and your affection is a choice. You know you are doing something dirty, wrong, and immoral. You hate yourself for it. Usually, when people talk about cheating, they assume it's only about sex. But from my experience, people very often cheat because they are trying to find something they feel is missing: affection, the excitement of the early stages of a relationship, butterflies in the stomach, the pleasure of seducing someone or being desired again. Cheating can fill a gap in someone's life, whether physical or emotional, that their partner is no longer able to fill. In some relationships, especially with K, I cheated on the only woman I've ever told I love, romantically. I was celebrating a friend's birthday party and drank, literally, for only the second time in my life. I regained consciousness with a woman writing me. I had no recollection of even meeting her. I don't know how we found a bed. I returned to unconsciousness while she was writing me. I woke up with her beside me in the bed. I felt physically ill from the hangover. Never told my girlfriend at the time. Lived life like it never happened. I liked the emotional part, but the sex was bad, like too bad. He had ED at the age of 23. In 2.5 years, we had sex only in the first year, no sex for 1.5 years next. He refused to get treatment for it as well. Kids, volatile husband, and fear of my mother and grandma catastrophizing and starting drama. Because something is wrong with my head, maybe it was the way I was raised, but that doesn't mean it's okay. Hurt people, hurt people. There are 100 of these, "Hey cheaters, why did you cheat?" threads, and the actual answers are always downvoted into oblivion, while other commenters pile on to stick it to their ex who cheated. I've been the other guy twice. Both women stayed with their boyfriends. One married him down the line. Seems like they're doing well. The other fell apart down the road. I don't know if he found out about me or not. They had different reasons and different situations, but at the end of the day, I've never cheated physically, but have done a lot of micro-cheating in all of my long-term relationships. OnlyFans, flirty DMs with other girls, receiving suggestive pics from other girls. It's a part of me that I am deeply, deeply ashamed of. I believe it stems from my tendency to be a people pleaser. Each time it's occurred, it's been when I felt as though my generosity and kindness is no longer appreciated, so I look elsewhere for the kind of validation that it provided in the early ST. Because my wife told me to find someone else to have sex with after she lost her libido and developed vaginismus that years of treatments and physical therapy didn't help. Why throw away a relationship almost 30 years long, disrupt our family, damage our finances and retirement planning, and double our living expenses just because one of us stopped having sex? I cheated, and am still going to therapy to work out my triggers, how I can communicate my needs better, and how to avoid following that path again. I was in a shit relationship with someone who didn't deserve to be cheated on, but I didn't know how to set proper boundaries with her. She walked all over me, and that was my fault. At the time, I felt useless. And so when someone came along that saw that I wasn't useless, I latched onto that. Which is fucking stupid, in retrospect of course. I have EMP. Just go read the adultery subreddit. Attachment. Skimming the thread to see if there's the obvious response from anybody. I didn't want to break up with my significant other because I enjoyed and/or enjoy the relationship. No regrets about a sneaky forbidden shag. I can't see it. Unsurprised. I had a boyfriend who encouraged me to have sex with a girlfriend. We were both curious, me and the friend. When he realized he wasn't invited or even an afterthought, he changed his mind. But I proceeded to hook up with her for years, even after we broke up for unrelated reasons. I was young, dumb, and greedy/selfish. Because leaving would have meant admitting the relationship was already over, and I wasn't ready to say that out loud yet. The cheating wasn't about the other person. It was about avoiding a conversation I was too scared to start, which is worse than cheating honestly, tongue sticking out. One of my best friends cheated on his wife. Why did he cheat? She was both emotionally and physically unavailable. Basically, she was so career-focused that she got tunnel vision and was essentially neglecting her family because all she cared about was climbing the ladder. Not excusing him, but to be fair, it was pretty crazy. We went on a vacation with them once, and she spent nearly every moment either on her phone or a laptop doing work. The way he described it was that he was lonely and CR. Because her BF was too busy getting drunk and high, was a dick, and she was horny. I was also very young. No shame felt even 20+ years later. Okay, I haven't done it, but I know someone who did, so I will share her case if that's okay. I'll call her Esther. Esther was the best, kindest, and wisest person I've met to this day. I have a long list of good things to say about her. You can imagine how jarring it was to learn that she had done something like that. Essentially, Esther was in a relationship with a man, let's call him Rob, who was letting himself go to crazy extents, both physically and mentally. Rob had become morbidly obese. Fear of being alone.